Rachel, the animal-loving person behind Crazy Cat Copy. This video is to go with a blog that I've written about why businesses should have a website, and I'll post a link to that blog in the description to this video. And I wanted to talk through some tips that you should think about before you even start building your website. My first tip is to think about the domain name that you'd like to use. A domain name is what people type into their internet browser to visit your website. For example, if somebody wanted to visit my website, they would type in crazycatcopy.com.au, which would take them here. Now, if you're a new business, or perhaps you're starting a second business, it's a good idea to think about your domain name at the same time as you're brainstorming your business name. The reason I suggest this is because your domain name for your website should match your business name. Now, this is a two-step process because I'm in Australia, and in Australia you need to register your business name. So you need to make sure that the business name that you'd like is available through the ASIC website, which is the Australian Securities and Investments Commission. And you need to check that the business name you want is available. And not only that, you also need to check that the domain name is available as well. Now, this is an Australian web hosting provider, and you'll find that most, if not all, web hosting providers will allow you to search domain names to see whether or not they're available. So if I type in crazycatcopy.com.au in here and hit the search button, it will do this. And you'll see that crazycatcopy.com.au is taken. Well, that's because it's my website. But you'll also see that the .com version is also taken, and that's because I purchased that one as well. Now, if you're an Australian-based business, I always recommend that you purchase the .com.au version of your domain name and the .com, and you can have one pointed to the other so that it doesn't matter which version somebody types into their internet browser, whichever one they type in, they should end up on your website. So once you've found an available domain name that you'd like, there's a few other steps that you should take. Now, I'm going to talk in an Australian context here, but if you're elsewhere, there may be similar steps as well, but you'll need to check what you'll need to do. In Australia, if you're new in business, you'll need to get an Australian business number, which is also known as an ABN, and that's free to do. And if you typed into Google something like register an ABN, then the correct link of where you should go should pop up in the search results. And then once you've done that, if you're going to operate under a business name, and not everybody does, some people just operate under their sole individual name, but if you're going to operate under a business name, you also need to register your name with ASIC, and I showed you the website to that earlier. There is a small fee for this, and you'll find it when you go through the steps to register your business name. Once you've done that, you need to have a think about which platform you'd like to use to have your website built. And that's regardless of whether you're going to build the website yourself or get a web developer to build it for you. Now, there's a number of options that you can choose from. And some examples are, and I'll just show you some examples. Wix is an example. And you can purchase your domain name and go through the Wix plans and purchase it that way. There's Squarespace, and again, I think you can get the domain name as well as the Squarespace playing at the same time. There's Shopify, which is popular with some businesses with an online shopping store. There's WordPress.com, which tends to be more popular with people just posting an individual blog. And then there's WordPress.org, which is what I use to build websites with. If you're going to use a web developer, you will find that every web developer has a preferred platform they like to use when building websites. And this happens to be mine. And I've got a whole bunch of reasons why I prefer using this, but that's a topic for another day. If you do go with WordPress.org, you can purchase your domain name and web hosting through a business such as Venture IP or Panther, which are both Australian-based web hosting businesses. And then once you've done those steps, you're ready to have your website built. Now, if you're building your own website, one advantage of using WordPress is that there are heaps of resources online that can help you learn how to use it. You just need to ensure that you get your information from somewhere reliable so that you set up your website properly. There are also WordPress developers such as myself who offer WordPress training, which some people may find more affordable than using a developer to build your whole site. And I'll leave a link to my WordPress training package in the description to this video. And my final tip is for people who get stuck on writing their own website content. Some people find it more difficult than others to write about themselves and their business. And if you're one of those people, then you're definitely not alone. And if you fall in this category, a copywriter is a good investment because the content of your website can determine whether or not a potential customer purchases from you. And you'll find that some copywriters specialize in a particular area. For example, I know copywriters who specialize in health, others in law or real estate and the arts, just to provide a few examples. I also do copywriting for websites as well, and I'll leave a link to that in the description. Now, if you like this video, it would be great if you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And thank you for watching today, and I'll be posting more videos soon.